Recording started.
All right, Israel. Most High in Christ bless everybody.
Most High in Christ bless you too.
All right. All praises to the Most High. Giving us the spirit to come here, Israel, fellowship, and what the will of the Most High is. So, today's lesson is going to be about building financial wealth. So, you brothers and sisters can take heed. Building financial wealth. Okay. So we'll give it a few moments. Shalom, brother. Let some other brothers and sisters jump in, and then we're gonna get started. What's up, Miss Shannon? Pete Squeak. All right. So let's open up. What's up, Brother Solomon? Let's open up in the book of Luke, chapter 12. Luke chapter 12, and start at verse 15. Shall you want to read?
Luke chapter 12 and verse 15.
Good, come on.
And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness.
Right, so take heed. Remember the class today, and God will it, we're going to get into another topic, but first one is building what? Financial wealth. So now the first thing you have to do is make sure that you take heed and you beware of covetousness. Okay? The spirit of covetousness is a spirit that will. Is that our AC on? With the windows on? We can leave it on. Just push the windows down. Sorry about the interruption. Give us 30 seconds. Okay? So now, everybody, check it out. You want to have success in life. You want to have success in life. You want to prosper in life. The first thing you have to do is, the scriptures say you have to beware of covetousness. What form of covetousness is the scriptures referring to? It's referring to you in your mind and you don't include the Most High. That's a recipe for disaster. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
You do not include the Most High. A lot of people have tried. Guess what? They all fail. You had millions and millions of Israelites that tried to have success in the world, but they left God out, the Most High. And he gave them over to ruin, and he did not bless them. Okay? So beware of covetousness. We're at Luke chapter 12 and 15. Go ahead.
For a man's life consisted not in the abundance of the things which he possessed.
Right. For a man's life consisted not. But wait a minute, I thought this was about wealth and building. It is. Yeah. So, we'll come back to this. Let's go to 1 Kings. And I'll show you how to get it. We're going to show you how to get it. 1 Kings 3. What's up, Damon? 1 Kings chapter 3 and But just read it verse 5. Start there. You got to read nice and strong, okay? The book of 1 Kings, chapter 3.
1 Kings 3 and verse 5. And Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, ask what I shall give thee.
Right, so a lot of us, most of us, a high percent of us, we don't have this luxury or this pleasure. We haven't had this where the Father, we had a dream about the Most High is asking us, what is it that you really want out of life? Okay? In the form of a dream. So now Solomon is interacting with the Most High in a dream. Read.
Verse 6. And Solomon said, thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy.
Right, so we're at 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 6. So the first thing that Solomon mentions, people in the back, pay attention, is you to be first ones to grow up broke and be wondering, wow, what happened? Why end up with dust bunnies in my pocket? That's supposed to be a joke. Okay? The first thing, notice, what did he say? He showed unto his father, David, great mercy. So he grew up seeing what? Write it on the board. Yes or no?
2 seeds.
2 C's, okay.
2 less. 2 less.
He grew up seeing what?
Success.
He grew up seeing success. Some of you fight against your successors. You fight against, you see people successful in your life, and you think that you're going to get that thing too. You are a fool. You're only going to get it if you deal right. He saw it. He said, oh, you showed my father great mercy. His father kept what? The commandments. So when you read the scriptures, David then turned and told his father to show himself a man and come up in the same way that I'm teaching you. So when he have this dream, he like, wait a minute, you know what? You all are just God because I've seen it. And you did this for my father. Well, how did his father get it? The Most High told David, Nathan to tell David, you know what? I came and got you when you was pushing sheep around. He was a sheepcoat. He was, tending to the sheep. In other words, David was on the totem pole. He was nothing. And the Most High made him something great. Why? Because he kept God's commandments. That's what made David the man that he was. So, anywhere around it is going to lead right back into the keeping of these commandments. It tells you that in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Okay? So now, you showed unto my father great mercy. Go ahead.
According as he walked before thee in truth.
And he walked before you in truth. What is truth? Truth is the laws. He didn't allow himself to be what? Deceived. Okay? He didn't allow himself to be deceived. When he came to that fork in the road, he knew what the Most High required of him. And he also knew what presented itself before him. My way, covetousness. My way, desire, lust, pleasure. Or these laws that's full of boundaries. He said, I got to deal with the truth. I have to afflict myself. And I got to deal with the truth. That's what helped him to prosper. That's what likewise shall help you to prosper. Every decision that you make while you're suffering, yes, you're going to suffer in this truth. That's normal, typical. Don't think that you're strange or you're in the wrong place or you're doing the wrong thing or this truth, this is effed up, this and this. No. You supposed to suffer. You supposed to get your behind handed to you, man. You supposed to go through hell and high water. Because if you're doing that, that means you're not sinning. They that have ceased from sin, they that have suffered in the flesh, have ceased from sin. That means you fighting off doing, I ain't gonna do the wrong thing. Okay? So now, in truth, go ahead.
And in righteousness.
For those of you that just jumped in, this is 1 Kings 3 and 6. Okay, we're building financial wealth. Where does it come from according to the scriptures? Because some of you, you're keeping the commandments, and some of you are keeping the commandments and wondering why, why am I not having success? Are you being partial? If you're being partial, well, what did the Father tell us about a wavering man? You don't get nothing. You don't get nothing until you complete it. You have to eat the whole thing, and you got to swallow down. That's what the angel told John. Swallow it down. It's gonna be what? It's gonna be bitter. Okay? So now, let's finish it.
And in uprightness of heart with thee.
And in uprightness of heart. This is the level that will make us successful. Every man and every woman. I bet I'm going to leave a bunch out because it's just boiling inside of me. It's a lot that I want to say. You sisters, don't want to leave you out. You most definitely take your place in this nation. You can acquire financial wealth as well. There is a place for you in the blessings of the Most High. You don't have to play second fiddle, second hand. If you choose to be a bum, that you chose to be a bum. If you choose to be broke, then that's your choice to be broke. That's a choice that you made. But you got to think, you got to put your thinking caps on. And you have to get to work.
That way? Come on now, y'all. Which way?
It's over there.
And this go this way or this way?
Yeah.
Sisters, you got to work. Shalom. You got to work. You got to work. You got to think. You got to figure out, what am I good at? Because what did the Father tell you?
The other way?
Help. He said, you are a help. You don't sit on your hands. Don't sit on your hands. Okay? That's what Proverbs 31 is about. Proverbs 31 ain't no stay-at-home woman that just don't do nothing. You don't read that about her. The scriptures say she worked with her hands, man. She get it done. She get dirty. That's why any woman come around me, I put you to work. It don't matter how old you are, how young you are. I put you to work. Not to be beyond you, but to teach you that this real world, you're going to have to work in this real world. You cannot be afraid to get your hands, to get a callus, get a bump on it, get a scratch on it. You cannot be afraid to be tired. You're going to have to work. Now, you can use your hands or you can use your mind. But, sisters, you got to help out. Especially if you want something. If you want it, you got to get it. Okay? So now, it starts with you too. You got a job to do. Sisters got a job to do. They got to understand what this Bible tells them about them. Your job and the man's job, although we have The same spirit. You got an office of a woman. Men are not women. Men ain't gonna look well to the ways, of the house. Men ain't gonna typically do that. But sisters get to do it. So sister probably Shannon. She sit right there. What's your name? Somebody. So, hey, shalom, sis. So, y'all understand that? Well, give us a moment to get settled. So that we can get back into these precepts. I'm trying to explain something to help sisters understand, where, how to get started on this wealth building plan. You want to start at the job. Covetous. Pay attention. You want to start at the job. You think the job is going to make you rich. The job is going to bring it in. Foolishly thinking. That's not it. That's not it. Because you can get that job and he'll blow on it. Yeah, he'll blow that money right away. Yes. You thought you had it. You thought you was able to save this. You weren't able to save. We're at 1 Kings chapter 3. You put this away, you had to spend it. This didn't last. That spoiled. This corrupted. That got broken. It's not the job. It's your responsibility as a woman. Shalom. It's your responsibility as a woman. Your responsibility as a woman will make you rich. It will make you a Proverbs 31 woman. Your responsibility as a woman. Know your responsibility. Know it well. Stop living in this truth for the man. Live for the Most High. Or some of you say, live for Yah. Live for the Most High. Take your position, take your role, get your responsibility, make the Most High proud. Make him proud. Make it look good. Bring the scriptures to life. Live out these scriptures. Make the commitment. Sacrifice your own self. When the scriptures say that when you read about a Proverbs 31 woman, that the man will have no need of spoil, it's talking about possessions, man. You will be a prized possession. What? Why? You've been in your spirit, in your emotions, trying to captivate this man through lust. Your ability to serve the Most High make you invaluable. That's how you're supposed to feel. That's how you're supposed to think. But if you constantly, watching TV and looking at the Housewives of Orange County and all of this garbage, that's the devil's workshop, man. You don't pay attention to that. You pay attention to the scriptures. You have to believe in it. If you believe in it, the Most High, he ain't gonna forsake you. You wasn't able to save nothing. Right, you had your focus in the wrong place. It's not the job. Ain't never been the job. The Most High can make you rich overnight. The Most High say he raised the base up. Okay? So this is where it starts. We're at 1 Kings chapter 3. In verse 6, it says, in the uprightness of heart with thee, go ahead.
And thou hast kept for him this great kindness.
And thou hast kept for him. What do you think that great kindness is, man? That great kindness is that he saw his father with abundance of everything. He saw that. Go ahead.
That thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in.
Right, so he humbled himself. When he said that he's a little child, he's referring to comparing himself unto the Most High. And he's referring to the knowledge that it takes to run a nation. That's what he's referring to. So if you running around thinking that you grown and you got it going on and this, that, and the other already, you already losing, man. The Most High looking at us like we foolish. Go ahead.
And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people, that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude.
Let me ask us a question. Are we in that same situation? Listen to the question. I'm going to read the precept. Listen to the question good. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people, that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Are we in that situation? Yeah, you are. You are. All eyes are on you. Everybody knows you. All eyes gonna stay on you. First of all, the Most High sees you. Second of all, the angels of the Most High see you. And third of all, the congregations, they see and they know you. So you are likewise in the same circumstance. What are you doing with your limelight? Are you making a plumb fool of yourself? Or are you shining as sparks and lights, beacons of hope? Go ahead.
Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people.
What is he asking for? Give me the mindset. Give me what? The mind, the mental, the spirit. Give me the mindset so that I can, when I see situations, that I can tell right from wrong. Without respect to persons. It doesn't matter who it's on. Right? Right. That's what he's asking for, first and foremost. Give me an understanding heart to judge thy people. Go ahead.
That I may discern between good and bad.
That I may discern good and bad. So that first discerning, is going to save who? Him or somebody else?
Yeah.
That's right, brother. It's going to save him. The first ability to discern, it must save you. You must have the ability to know what's right and what's wrong. When you're walking down the street, when you're in the grocery store, when you're passing by something. You must know how to say, well, listen, okay, that's wrong. That's right. And stand on it. Unto what? Unto death. Just like your Lord and Savior did. Okay? Go ahead.
For who is able to judge this, thy so great a people?
Right. Who's able to do that? It should be each and every last one of us. But you know that it's more people that's wicked than it is righteous. So if it's more people that's wicked than it is righteous, why would we add to the number of wickedness? If 2 parts are going to be cut off, what's the ratio wicked to righteousness? 2. Anybody else? 2 to 1. Right, 2 to 1. Okay? And that 1 is scarcely. But they waking up. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And the speech pleased the Lord.
And the speech did what?
Pleased the Lord.
So when you make your father happy, what do you think going to happen? Is your father going to bless you or he's going to curse you? He's going to bless you because you made him happy. Go ahead.
That Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life.
Right. He didn't ask to live long or none of that. Go ahead.
Neither hast thou asked riches for thyself, nor hast thou asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment.
So let's examine verse 11. It say you didn't ask yourself for long life, because guess what? And that's hard. We're in 1 Kings chapter 3 and 11. Everybody probably imagine dying some type of way. Everybody thinks about, man, when I die, how will it be? What's going to happen? Is it going to hurt? Am I going to be missed? I don't want that. But that wasn't in his mind. He had that wasn't in his mind. The next thing, neither has asked riches. He didn't ask the Most High to pull him up out of the situation that he was in. Because every person that holds wealth want to be wealthier. They don't want their wealth. Nope, it's too late. They don't want their wealth to diminish. Why do you think oppression has never ended? They put the pedal to the metal, man, when it comes to oppressing Israel. I tell y'all stuff, man. Blow pops was a nickel. Shit, you think it was in another life? You don't understand? Candy bars was 25 cents. Ice cream cones was a quarter. Gasoline was 59 cents. You think that was in another lifetime? Oppression has put the pedal to the metal. And since then, if gasoline was 59 cents and now it's $3.59, what percentage is that it went up? 300%. Yeah, 300%, 400%. But guess what? The wages hasn't went up 400%. Back then, minimum wage probably was what? $6.50. Keep it honest. I think about $6.50. Now, what's minimum wage? $7.50. Minimum wage. So look at the difference. Oppression has soared. The price of everything has soared. Solomon did ask the Most High to, pull him up, make his financial. So I was saying that because the rich is constantly creating ways to get better, to get richer, to keep everything for themselves. But he wasn't like that. But those are some of the things. Those are some of the first things that we ask for. We're 1 Kings chapter 3 and 11. We want a healthy life. We want to be papered up. We're thinking in reverse in order to get that financial wealth. Nor has asked the life of what? Thine enemies. What are your enemies? Well, we already know that those that oppose us are enemies. The other nations are enemies, and the Most High hates them with a perfect hatred. So the enemies that, let's assume that Solomon will be talking about, is those of his brothers that oppose him. Okay, because he did have brothers that did oppose him, and there were other Israelites that did oppose him. But he didn't want the Most High to destroy those people. So that's how we to be. We don't want the Most High to destroy those people. But we want the Most High to give them the spirit to change their mind. Go ahead.
Verse 12.
I'm slacking. But has asked thyself understanding. But has asked for thyself understanding. So when you living in this earth, the thing that to start, you got to ask for understanding. You want to know the Most High. Once you know the Most High, then you can please the Most High, and then the Most High can make the ball rolling. You know the one that's at a stall? Yeah, he could get that going for you. Okay? To discern judgment. Okay? Verse 12.
Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given given thee a wise and an understanding heart.
Right. You don't get the rich, the wealth before that. What does scripture say? Before honor come what? Before the wealth, you got to humble yourself. Everybody understand that? Yeah. Before the wealth come, you got to humble yourself. Go ahead.
So that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor.
So where did the financial wealth come from? Where did it come from? Right, it came from the Most High. We sitting here trusting or trying to trust our enemies to make us wealthy. And you ain't gonna never find that. You know who has the power to make you wealthy? And if you ain't gonna deal with the Most High? Satan. All you gotta do is bow down and worship him. Okay? We're gonna come back to this. Let's go to Matthew 4 or Mark 4 and 1. Luke 4. Luke 4. Let's see. Yes, Luke 4 and get to the point, verse 6.
Luke chapter 4
Verse 5.
and verse 5. And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
Right, so Satan had Christ and he was showing them all the kingdoms. Think he showed them poverty and Hamites swatting flies and all of that, swamp water, muddy way. He showed them all of that. Let's see. Read verse 5. And the devil said.
And the devil, taking him up into a high
No,
mountain.
and the devil said, verse 6, lock it.
And the devil said unto him,
Go ahead.
all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them.
Stop. And the glory of him. So he didn't show him, like I said, Ham swatting flies, feed the children. You understand? Show him the slums and the ghettos and the poverty. No, man, he showed him what? He showed him the glory. He showed him the finest and the best of all the kingdoms. And he said, all this power will I give thee. And the glory of them. Go ahead.
For that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it thee, give it. If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine.
What do you got to do? If you're not going to deal with the Most High, what do you got to do to get rich? You're going to have to worship the devil. You're going to be in sin in order to get it. You're going to have to forsake the Most High. That's not what we want to do. We want to take the other path, the other route, where we get blessed from the Most High. And then not only do we have the blessing of financial stability, but in order to get that, we appreciate it, and it's going to stay with us because the Most High gave it to us. And also, we end up with the brains, with the smarts, with the understanding to discern good and bad. That was able to do what? First and foremost, that was able to help us. Okay, so now, let's lose that, and we'll go back to 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 14.
1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 14. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then will I lengthen thy days. And Solomon awoke.
Right, and he awoke. So he said the Most High told him he was going to give him the riches. Now let's go back to Luke chapter 12. Where'd you stop there? Luke chapter 12. and verse 15. Go ahead.
Luke 12 and 15. And he said unto them, Take heed, and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisted not in the abundance of the things which he possessed.
Right, so listening and seeing what we just read, we'll see that if we're concerned about the abundance of things, that will be out of order. Everybody see that? How that would be out of order? Right. Because what did the Most High teach us first and foremost? He said that we should desire the Spirit. What pleased him? So if you found out that the thing that Solomon did is something that pleased him, then you would pattern yourself behind an example in the scriptures that say, well, hey, if this pleased him, let me mimic the same situation. All right, Matthew 6. So we should bookmark Luke 12 so we can flip to it very easy for time constraint. Okay, Matthew chapter 6. I'll read it and give it back to you. 24 says, No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You see that when you're trying to function in this truth. All right. So that was Luke 12. We'll go back to it though. You'll see that when you're trying to live in the truth. And then, you got to work hours and you want that money. And you're trying to live in the truth. And the truth is trying to instruct you or command you to do certain things, but you want that money. It's going to be friction. So here the scriptures say that you can't serve two masters. You don't really realize that Satan is coming through the job. Satan is tempting you through the job. Satan is having you go off. He showed Christ because Christ is bigger than us. Christ is the Son of the Most High, man. So he knows that he got to come on a stronger, higher level trying to get Christ than trying to get us. But what will he tempt us with? Man, he'll tempt us with materialistic things. That's something small. You could see all the kingdoms in the world all you want. You know you ain't getting that. You understand? We like a squirrel, man. We a low league. But Christ, he knew that Christ had the power to try and move upon those things because him being the Son of the Most High, he was endued with strength and spiritual power from the Most High. But soon as Christ had took that deal from Satan, then that would have been the end of him. The Most High would have destroyed him. So likewise us, if we take the deal from Satan, the Most High is going to destroy us. So what does Satan do? He tried to become your master by getting you to become a wage slave. You understand? And now you going after the shoes and the cars and the clothes. And you don't have time to serve the Most High. You don't have time to straighten your life up. You going after financial stability in the wrong way. And what did the scriptures say about your stability? Let's get it. Isaiah chapter 33 and 6. 9. Yes, Isaiah chapter 33, you can start at verses 5.
Isaiah 33 and verse 5. The Lord is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness.
Right, that's the first. He filled us with judgment and with righteousness. He give us the ability to judge a matter, look at a situation, and see this is how you do that. After we have secured ourselves, then we can do what? We can fully instruct another brother or sister and tell them what they're supposed to do based on the scriptures that never change. And righteousness. And it's going to be right. Verse 6.
and wisdom, and knowledge shall be stability of thy time.
Right, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your times. Not the money, but the Most High will give you the money. I'm showing you. I got to take you the long route to show you how to get it. You just want me to show you or tell you this. Let me... Is that right? Okay. That's the... Okay. So, I'm gonna sit there and see if y'all can guess what that is. Right. Credit score. So you ain't talking to no dummy. I've never told nobody that. That's mine. This is what it was in May. For some reason it dropped 20 points. I ain't did nothing. It just did it. They do what they want to do. I almost bust the ceiling. I almost hit it. So I'm not just blowing smoke. I want to prove a point to you. I want to teach you. And ain't no job did that for me. The commandments, that's what it is. We read about great men. You live with great men. So, where do we stop? It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be what? The stability. I don't worry about this. That happened on its own. I worry about this. You do it, you living in reverse. You worried about this and don't give a damn about this. And you wondering why you like 500 and they won't give you nothing. Come on. I'm showing you. I'm telling you. This is the way. This is the path. This is the truth. This is the life. This is how you go about it. This is how you get it, man. But you got to humble yourself. Stop worrying about, when we get back to Matthew 6, that worry, the Most High knows it is a burden. Leave it. Cast your care upon Him. If you die, you die. If you starve, you starve. But I'm going to keep your commandments. I'm going to see. I'm going to prove. I'm going to see if what you say, you're going to do for me. I'm going to sacrifice everything and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. I'm going to go where you say go. My friends are going to be who you say they are. My parents are going to be who you say they are. I am going to be what you call me. Then you're going to be good for the Most High's use. And that's when you have finally destroyed whoever your parents made. And then the spirit, the birth that comes from your parents, you're going to live in the Most High. And once you begin to start living from the Most High through the Most High, then He's going to start feeding you and taking care of you, because He truly is that love you, man. He truly is. Your parents were just like a portal that brought you here. You understand? You can't come through thin air and now you're on earth like you see Esau making the movies. You understand? Like Terminator. Now you on earth. That doesn't work like that. The means, the Lord said towards Jeremiah, before you were in the womb, I knew you. You understand? It had nothing to do with him and her. You was with me. God is telling this prophet. He used these people to bring you, man, into this thing. Now that you're here, now you got to separate yourself from all the dirt that they allowed you to be exposed to. And now you got, that's why Christ was like, don't you know I got to be about my Father's business? He understood that thing. And once he understood it, he was obedient unto the Most High, unto life, unto death. That's why his life is the chosen life that we to follow, because he has taught us how to pattern ourselves after God, the Most High, the Father, unto obedience, and to be subjection for a duration of your life. Once the bell go off, once you figure it out, you're like, okay, I'm obedient. Obedient, is it going to make you righteous or wicked? Righteous. See, what's wrong with obedience then? Nothing. It's going to make you righteous, man. It's going to set you apart, man. Okay, so now, wisdom and knowledge is the stability. That's not going to make you crazy. Don't worry about what you don't have. He going to give you. That's what we're going to read. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 6. But know for sure, you can't serve him, you can't deal with us both, is what he's saying. Excuse me. In Matthew chapter 6 and 24, Shalom, Sister Sheila. Matthew 6 and 24, no man can serve two masters. So we got to stop being what? Confused. Confused. Which way do I go? What do I do? You got to stop that. You got to be all in with your pains and your sufferings too. So what? I've been broke before. Yeah. Before this, I was broke. I come out the world and I couldn't do no more scheming and scamming. Backsliding and hustling. I couldn't be ratchet no more. Crumbled. Fell on my face. Busted. You understand? Had a job I can remember $13 left. $13 left. After I would pay a bill, I had to ask my wife before she actually moved in with me. When I came into this, now I'm like, listen, we got to come together. We got to be this, that, and third. Do you think you can help me pay the bill? Help me pay a bill over here? I had like $13 left. But I didn't return to the vomit. I stayed true. I suffered. I knew these scriptures was real, because no man can write these scriptures. You can't forecast. Don't be foolish, man. You cannot foretell something and make it happen. You can say that you're going to do something and can't keep your word because it ain't in the will. You can't speak that into existence, what's written in these scriptures, these prophecies. When I really realized that, I'm like, it was promised that the Most High said he going to get me. So guess what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. And I'd be doggone it if he didn't come back around. And now, I ain't complaining. I hurt like you. I suffer like you. I look like you. I catch hell like you. But when I think about the way things can be, I say, well, you know what? I got better. I got more than I deserve. Because I could be dead. So, Matthew chapter 6 and 24, no man can serve two masters. Everybody agree with that, right? Yes, sir. So we got to make our mind up. Either he will hate the one. You know what that hate the one is? Let's say, for instance, I hate to sit and listen to, once I heard somebody, I'm stuck in that religion. You ain't stuck nowhere. The door swings both ways. You better choose life, because if you don't, you're going to be destroyed. You ain't stuck. But you ain't supposed to hate that you got to study the scriptures so that you can follow directions, so you can follow and obey the voice of the Most High, because that's whose commandments it is. Okay? You ain't supposed to hate that you gotta wear fringes on your clothes. You ain't supposed to hate that. Oh, that takes away my my swag. That takes away. What does it take away? It goes against the world. The fringes is a light. How many of y'all out there you can a lot of times I'd be like, don't worry about it. Just put thumbs up. You got fringes on, somebody come up to you and say shalom or shalom because they see the fringe. Thumbs up. How many of you? They walk up to you, that's a light, right? They see that. That means that you ain't supposed to hate that. That's a commandment. That's it. That's you spreading the word of the Most High while people saying, hey, this truth is, as soon as you see somebody, you're like, wow, this truth is everywhere. This truth is everywhere. The Most High knows you ain't supposed to hate that. You got to wear a dress, you're a woman. You're not supposed to hate that. You're supposed to love that. Okay? Either he will hate the one. When you resent it, that's hatred. When you disagree with it, that's hatred. You cannot separate the fact that you disagree with something without hating it. Well, let me clarify that. Make sure I'm right with what I'm saying. If you don't want to do what the Most High says, and you hate the fact that you have to do it, that's hating the Most High. You cannot separate those two. I hate that I got to do this. I don't hate that I have to do anything. Whatever I have to do, and even if it's causing a suffering, guess what? I don't hate it. I tolerate it. Because everything that we go through is only for what? A season. See, it's only a season, Israel. Your sufferings are for a season. The Most High going to turn around and He's going to bless you. Because you have to endure. You got to learn from those things that you go through. They're only for a season. That's why, let's get Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, to show you that. Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 2. Start there.
Ecclesiasticus 2 and verse 2. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
Right. So you got to constantly endure. Even though you're in trouble, you got to keep on applying. Okay? There's trouble there. It's for a season, like I was saying. You're like, man, if I get rid of the truth, then I get rid of the trouble. No, you're not going to get rid of the trouble. You get rid of the truth, the trouble is going to be permanent. Go ahead.
Cleave unto him.
Right. So while you're in trouble, continue to apply the scriptures. Cleave unto the Most High. At this point, the Most High, you can pray unto the Most High. And what's the next best thing after you pray unto the Most High? Watch unto prayer. Okay, watch unto prayer. Brothers and sisters, you can fast. What's the next best thing? Right. Brothers, sisters. Brothers and sisters are born for adversity. That's why we have to get close one to another. That's why you cannot be strangers. Okay? You have to pick up the phone. You have to call. If we want to have friends, what do we have to do? Make ourselves friendly. Hey, how you doing? I was just calling. I text people all the time. Hey, I'm checking in on you. How you doing? How you think I know all these people? Hey, how you doing? I'm just checking in on you. You know, I create a communication level. You understand? Friendly. If I would need something, whether it's a conversation, a talk, then I can reach out and I can talk. And likewise, it has to be the same way. They that would have friends must show himself to be friendly. Okay? Go ahead.
And depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
So, see, doesn't increase income after trouble. That is right there. Cleave unto him, depart not away, that you may be increased at the end of the thing, once that season is over. Okay? Whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully and be patient. So it means you have to endure, right? When thou art changed to a lower state, because an increase is going to come. Okay, let's go back. Matthew chapter 6. Okay, Matthew chapter 6, and where were you at, brother? 24. No man can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold on to the one and despise the other. What does that look like, to hold on to one and despise the other? Christ is teaching that. He's teaching Israel about the decisions that we make when it comes to trying to get money out here and still trying to claim that we serve Yah. What are you holding on to? Those habits that you can't let go. You're trying to make it. What are you really despising? The Most High. The things that you know you have to do according to Scripture, you despise it. You might outwardly show something different to another brother or sister, but inwardly, how do you really feel? You despise it. Who knows the hearts and souls and spirit of men? The Most High do. And he knows that that's how, and so to avoid that, you can't be like, man, I despise it. I'm telling you, I don't despise nothing about the truth. The headaches, the heartaches, the stress, the counsel, the scriptures, the questions, the classes, the teachings, not one. Now, I don't despise nothing, not one. Not one. Despise not one thing. It is what it is. Okay? So now, let's see. You cannot serve God and make. Mammon is referring to what? Huh? Right, the world. But it's going into it's talking about the money. Yeah. So that's the first thing that we would have to come to terms. And once we come to terms, let the Most High choose what type of person he wants us to be. Because everybody can't be what? The rich man. Just like everybody ain't going to be the poor man. He has a role for each and every last one of us to play. We have to be in acceptance of that role. We have to agree, I'm going to do this thing. Christ had a really close friend that he wept over. What was his name? Lazarus. What role in the world did Lazarus play? A beggar. In the kingdom, what role will Lazarus play? A prince. You understand? A king. A king. 1 Samuel. Don't get tricked by this world, Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 2. Verse 8, get to the point.
1 Samuel 2 and verse 8. He raised up the poor out of the dust.
Wasn't Lazarus poor? Yeah. Go ahead.
And lifted up the beggar from the dunghill to set them among princes.
Go ahead.
And to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. And he will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness. For by thy strength shall no man prevail.
You see that? So what happened with Lazarus? He was a close friend of Christ. Christ considered that to him. And when he passed away, it's the shortest precept in the Bible. It says, Yahweh shall wept. It consists of 2 words. He cried, man. He cried. And when he shall inherit, the scriptures say he saw him in Abraham's bosom, in the kingdom. And he was doing good. He will keep the feet of his saints. And the wicked shall be silent in darkness. Man, they ain't got nothing to say. But that last precept in 9, for by strength shall no man prevail. We can try Israel, and we can put our mind and we can put our spirit and give all of our strength. It tell you that in Ecclesiastes 38. You can give all your might into your job. You ain't going to prevail that type of way. The Most High going to see it. He going to allow you to waste your flesh to waste. You going to burn all your energy up. Going off. But that's not going to give you the success that it's not going to give you the success that you're looking for. The Most High will hinder it. Okay? So, let's go back to Matthew chapter 6. Where do we stop?
25.
Matthew 6 and 25. So now that we know that we cannot serve the Most High and go about things in a worldly, carnal-minded way, now, well, how do we think? How do we obtain it? Still, verse 25. Read that.
Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life.
So at that point, it's like, whatever. It's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing and give you the wrong impression because I understand that high percentage of the people, they take what's being said, what come out through the classes, they take it to heart. And I want you to take it hard. I just don't want you to be misled or misunderstood. But I want to say, just give up. The way that you thought, so I will say just give up. The way that you thought, lose that and learn today. This is how I'm going to go about things. Because that's why it says, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. Meaning stop burdening and worrying yourself. I'm going to be this type of achiever so that I can gain this, that, and the third. When you ain't right in the commandments. How do young blood say? That's a dead mission. That ain't gonna come to pass. It's not. You don't know that you're going down an avenue that appears to be right, but you're gonna waste your life. Because he's telling you the only thing that you should be considering is these commandments first and foremost. While you get in these commandments, the Most High is going to put people into your life that are going to be examples, that's going to teach you, that's going to show you. You might be headed for the wrong career. Yeah. Some of you don't really realize that. You might be doing the wrong thing. You might be going to school to put yourself in financial debt, to put you to just exercise and burn years and years of worthlessness. Not even considering that. College is another scam, man. That's a scam that gets so many so-called African Americans, so-called Black and Latinos into school loan debt It doesn't make no sense. Not everybody, but a high percentage. So you got to reevaluate. You got to reevaluate your priorities. Once you reevaluate your priorities, if the commandment has been here and the commandments been here, but this you like, I'm all in. Here I'm all in. I got this going on. But here you struggle with, because you got to force yourself to make it to class. You got to force yourself to read. You got to force yourself to do that. Man, you in bad trouble. Stop worrying about, the clothes. I'm the type of person that I like to wear a pair of shoes out until they're gone. I like to wear a pair. I'm the type of person that I'm look for a clearance. I'm a conservative type of person. I'm going to talk before it's over. I'm going to try and talk to you about saving too. If I see a rack and, it's got my size jeans on sale, I'll buy 3 or 4 pair of jeans, and those are my jeans now. I wear those. They look fresher than the ones I already got. I'm going to wear that. I'm not going to just go out because I got $200 and in the simplicity of my mind, worry about somebody looking at my butt cheeks and I look good by the butt. That's the pants. The pockets. That's what I mean. You understand? You want somebody to look at your jeans, dude. That's what I'm talking about. You understand? Who cares about that? First of all, we wear a board and blue and fringe. Our shirts are going to cover those pockets anyway. So you paid $200 on something that now you got to hide. So for everybody that disputes that, I'm trying to survive. I'm being conservative. And look at what type of mind frame it got me. Look at where look at the position that it was able to put me in. So I'm trying to help those that need help and to understand, how do I get my life in order? First, you got to get it in order with the Most High. And once you get it in order with the Most High, then, you start thinking on a conservative level. Don't go out and just buy unnecessary things. Okay? So, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, or yet for your body, what ye shall put on. So those are clothes. Is not the life more than what? Meat, meaning all of those things that you will provide for yourself. You don't think that life is more important than how you look? You better believe. And the body more than raiment. Because the Most High, He'll take the life and the body away if you put those things before Him. And then don't, in the simplicity of our mind, be like, well, I don't care. Because if you feel like that, the same must know it when? After death. You're going to know it after death. It's going to be more pain. Okay? So at Matthew chapter 6 and 26, read that.
Behold, the fowls of the air, but they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature?
Right.
And why take ye thought for your raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these.
So now, what does that mean? Matthew 6 and 29. Yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. What looked it more beautiful unto the Most High? Solomon And remember, Solomon was very renowned. He was comely to look upon. His clothing, his garment was all fly. His jewels, he was the richest. Man, when you're the wealthiest person, I mean, everything about you is top. It's top flight, top notch, everything. But in the eyesight of the Most High, what looked at more astonishing? No, then the lilies. The lilies of the field, flowers in the eyesight of the Most High. So, in other words, how do we correlate that with us today? You working, you remember, beauty is what? Yeah, who said that? This brother here. He had to get checked by the Most High several times. So you sitting there worried about prepping yourself to look all good and look all fly. The Most High looking at you like you're not even worried about my commandments. And you got the audacity to ask me to build you financially. Come on. So we have to change that. We have to go after the commandments. We have to care about our life and our body and not our beauty. Okay? Wherefore, if God so clothed the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast in the oven, oh, shall he not much clothe you, O ye of little faith? Meaning, don't the Most High knows that it's time to clothe you? Yes, the Most High knows that it's time to clothe you. Okay? Therefore, take no thought, saying what we shall eat, or what we shall drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed. For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. The Gentiles is referring to are not Gentile nations. This is Israel that's living amongst the other Gentiles. Who got them like that in that mind state? Those same Gentiles. That's the glory of the other nations. When Satan tried to trick Christ, what did he show him? He showed him glory. That the other nations was walking with their necks stuck out and their pomps and their circumstances. You understand? He showed them their riches and their wealth. But on the inside, they have no righteousness. And what truly exalts a nation? Righteousness exalts a nation. Not what we're going after. So Israel that's dispersed amongst all of those Gentiles, that's what they want to be like. They carry about the house and what they gonna eat and drink and how they look and their clothes and their hair flipped and duped, fried and dyed. They worried about all of that. It's hurting our sisters so much, man. It's just y'all destroying y'all's hair, y'all head, envying the nations. You can't be like that. So now, don't you think the Most High is going to take care of you, oh, you of little faith? That's why he said, don't worry about none of that stuff. That's what Israel is seeking. For your Father knoweth what things you have need of. So Israel just got shut down with that. He already know what we have need of. So our priority, first and foremost, is to walk, obey the Most High, keep the commandments, learn as a man. What type of man? Am I a single man with no wife and no children? If I'm a single man and no wife and no children, I have to walk as a single man. And I have to walk and look at people with all purity. The youngest as sisters. The older as mothers. You understand? If I'm a husband, now I need to walk as a husband. And I need to be a husband to my family, a father to the fatherless, a brother to the brothers. You understand? I have to be that type of person. And now, not only that, I got to walk in righteousness and help other brothers overcome the certain things that they got to deal with concerning what? The situation that they living in. That's first and foremost. And in so doing, what is the Most High going to do? He already know the things that I have need of. So what is he going to do? He's going to put me in a position, or put you in a position, to where when he see that you excelling in the situation that you in, He's going to put you in a position to where the doors are going to open because you were knocking. You understand? He's going to put that. He's going to help those things happen for you. Okay? Read the next part for me. So, yes, I stopped at verse 33.
But seek ye first the kingdom of God
Right, go ahead.
and his righteousness.
And his righteousness. So that's the first thing to financial wealth. You have to seek first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness. Go ahead.
And all these things shall be added unto you.
And he'll add everything for you. Do everybody understand that? Let's go back to Luke chapter 12. I thought I was going to tell you about a class. Oh, it's a financial wealth building class. Man, tell you how to invest $1,000 in euro. You waiting for the scam. It's going to get you, Israel. Okay, Luke chapter 12. Yes.
Luke 12 and verse 16.
So now we're finna go into a parable to where somebody is already in the world and having success. Go ahead.
And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits.
Right, so this guy here is what? Prosperous. Okay? Remember, Israel had land. That's why Christ is using this type of parable. Right now, you can't get us to you can't get us to plant a mini garden. Even when I was younger, people did used to do it. Everybody planted gardens in their yards. Okay, we didn't plant gardens in our yard because we had fruit trees. We had an apple tree, a pear tree, and a peach tree. And I ain't talking about this. Our stuff brought forth better fruit than y'all get that we get now in the grocer. Okay, our peaches were huge. They were huge, man. They were probably about this big. And we'd wait for them to wait. I used to always say we gotta let the sun kiss them. Wait for the sun to just turn them red. And they had like hair or something on them, man. I don't know what's up with these peaches now. They'll have they're supposed to have hair on them, man. Yeah, did y'all know that? These are like nectarines. I didn't eat them. I ate peaches, man. They had fuzz on them. They were very fuzzy. Yes, and they were sweet too, juicy. We didn't have to go in for lunch. We ate outside, out of the tree, and kept playing. You mess around and go outside and catch a stranger in your yard. I used to go outside and catch strangers. Man, what are you doing? Oh man, my bad. His shirt, look, his shirt, full of apples. Like, damn, man. Now that I know, dude, you got like $30 worth of fruit.
Yeah.
So yeah, during those times, I guess he using a parable. He said that this guy said, I will pour down, so at Luke chapter 12 and 18, I will pour down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. Luke 12 and 19, go ahead.
And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much good laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry.
All right, he said, I'm going to sit back and chill. Go ahead.
But God said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided.
When you read verse 19, you see many years. So he worked a long time. He worked a long time, and he was able to store up for many years in the future. Probably had seed and all that type of stuff. Israel people, we know how to preserve stuff. But the Lord said, you're going to die, man. You're going to die. So that's how it is with us. If we try to go on and move, outside of the truth, without the, blessing of the Most High, without the route and the path, what do you think going to end up happening? So everybody that's out there and you working and you're not serving the Most High first, you in for a rude awakening. You don't really realize that you working hard for that retirement. I'm gonna work until I'm 63. You got it all mapped. I'm gonna work. I'm 57 now, and I'm gonna work till I'm 63. This, and this, and this. And you think that stuff is cool. You think the little Buick you're driving, the Lexus you're driving, the Mercedes that you're driving, or whatever, that you're solid. Now you're not solid. The Most High is allowing you to build that, and He's gonna take it away from you. Because let's get that about the unjust weight. This is exactly what this is. Proverbs 11. And verse 1.
Proverbs 11 and verse 1.
Give them a moment to get it. All right.
A false balance is an abomination to the Lord.
What is a false balance? A false balance is an abomination. Remember, we're reading the parable of the rich fool. Why is Christ teaching this? Because there are a lot of rich fools in Israel. Excuse me. There are a lot of rich fools in Israel. And that's why when we're out teaching and you brothers are trying to pass out flyers, you see a bunch of rich, foolish people. Excuse me. Don't be in your feelings because they pass you up. They don't want to take the flyer. They feel that they know already. They say, man, why do I need that? I got a barn full of stuff. Why do I need that? False balance. A false balance is an abomination. If your life is up here and your walk in truth is down here and you like, I'm working on it, you might want me to say, oh, okay, that's okay then. I can't say that. All I can say is a false balance is an abomination. You're supposed to reverse that thing. Your walk in truth is up here, and your commitment into this society is down here. What did the Father tell the Pharaoh? Let my people go. That what?
They may serve me.
He said, fire everybody. Fire everybody, the whole nation. I want them to be jobless. Y'all like, huh? For real? Think about it. Didn't they have work? They had to work. Yeah. And remember, they even murmured and complained about going back into Egypt to work, right?
Yes.
When did they murmur? When they got hungry and thirsty, or just on GP? Because working provides food and water, right? They had jobs in Egypt, right? So they thought about, if we go back to work for Egypt, then at least we'll be able to eat and drink, right? But that's where God said fire them. He said fire. I'm using a word that y'all familiar with. He said fire them. Everybody, the whole nation, all 12 tribes, they're going to be unemployed. And they're going to walk into the wilderness with what? With whatever possessions they had, they're going to walk into the wilderness. But the Lord said, I got you. That's the thing that I'm trying to get y'all to see. Your stability is the Most High gonna have you. I'm not telling you to quit your job and go get yourself fired. Don't get that out of this message. If you up here in this world and you down here, you know you don't come to class, you don't make time, you don't keep no high holy days, you don't keep no feast days. You ain't keeping the commandments. You a woman, you ain't bought dresses. You ain't put fringes on your clothes. You ain't changed your diet. Then you in the world, you down here. But you faithful, you go to work. 40 plus hours, man. That's an abomination unto the Father. I'm not saying get yourself fired. I'm saying reverse the role. Mentally, and reverse the role. Make your commitment unto the Father. Let me start applying His commandments. Let me start learning His laws. How do I do that? Stop forsaking assembly. Can we serve any old type of way? No, you can't serve any old type of way. So you can't go to the Christian church. Oh, my pastor. What is that? Where'd that word come from? The God of the Hebrews. He's ordained or she's ordained. Where'd that word come from? The God of the Hebrews. It come out the Bible. So they're gonna steal and then go create something and tell you to come over here. We're gonna do this. And you can't do that. It's only one way. That's as an Israelite. Why? Because God named you Israel. He surnamed you. He put His name upon you and told you to walk in His covenant. So you got to keep His laws as an Israelite. Because in Christianity, they're going to teach you to be free from these laws. You're going to be an African American, which don't keep these laws. Shalom. So now, Luke chapter 12 and we at Proverbs 11, Salakia, Proverbs 11 and 1. A false balance is an abomination unto the Lord. Go ahead.
But a just weight is His delight.
Yeah, but a just weight is His delight. Okay, so you have to love the Most High more than you love this world. Okay, that's what He considers what? Just. Because what did He teach us about the world? Love not the world. So that's what's just to Him. Neither the things that are in the world, right? If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Okay? So He don't want you to be so envious of this world. Proverbs chapter 3, go to the 3rd chapter. Proverbs chapter 3 and 31.
Proverbs 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Right. Envy thou not the oppressor. You see that word oppressor? That has what in common? The word oppressor, when you oppress somebody, you take certain things away from them. Right? And when you take those things away from them, like food, clothing, cars, transportation, luxuries, and things like that, when you take those things away from people, you oppress them, right? And now they have them, and they'll have them in abundance. You know, they might even look good with them. But here it is, the Father knows what you have need of already. So what did He do? He give you the basic necessities. Let's just say that, right? He'll give us the basic necessities. So now the oppressor has all of this wealth and all of this money and all these clothes and all of these cars. The oppressor have all of those things with him, right? The Father said, don't look over there at him and desire none of his ways. The way that he do things, none of his things that he's using to oppress you. Do you understand that? Now the Most High, He will give you as we grow and we honor the Most High by keeping the commandments and being obedient unto the Most High, the Most High knows how to establish us, and then we could pay our way. But to set aside the commandment of the Most High, by, we can't fellowship, we can't come to class, we can't, we don't have a few hours a week to listen and learn. Neither do we have time inside of our houses to motivate and try and, swaggle and bring forth the commandments to one another, our people. But we got time for 40 plus hours a week. That's the envy part that God said, don't do that. Okay? So envy not the oppressor, and have none of his ways. Okay? Let's go back to bear with me, I was looking for something else. Luke 18. Okay, Luke chapter 18 and verse 'Bear with me. Let's see, Luke chapter 18 and verse 18. I'll read it. Luke 18 and 18. A certain ruler asked him, saying, Good master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? And Yahushua, whom the world calls Jesus, said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good save one, that is God. Thou knowest the commandments. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not kill. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Honor thy father and mother. And he said, All these have I kept from my youth up. So this is a ruler. So rulers, they have money. They don't have a care in the world. It says, Now when Yahushua, whom the world calls Jesus, heard these things, he said unto him, Yet lackest thou one thing. So this ruler had it going on. Christ said, you know what? You lack one thing. So we're at Luke chapter 18 and 22. Sell all that thou hast and distribute unto the poor. And thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come. Follow me. So he had money. Christ saying, break yourself. We're trying to get rich. Yahushua saying, hey, I got a different testimony for you. And when he heard this, he was what? Very sorrowful. For he was what? He was very rich. This is a true story, not a parable. And when Yahushua, whom the world calls Jesus, saw that he was very sorrowful, he said, How hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of the Most High. See, riches has a way of deceiving you and separating you from having true brotherly and sisterly love. When the Spirit opened up in Luke chapter 12, where did we open up? 12 and verse 15. What was the first thing that it said? Go back, Luke chapter 12 and 15. Read that.
Luke 12 and verse 15. And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness.
The first thing the Spirit said was what? Beware of what?
Covetousness.
And remember what we said covetous was? It's a selfish spirit. Selfishness. You understand? when we trying to get all of this money and we trying to work, we're concerned about us and not looking at a big picture. Let's go back. Luke chapter 18 and thank you. So he was sorrowful. How hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom? For it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. And they that heard it said, who then can be saved? So Matthew 9, when Matthew tells it, he's talking to the disciples, and they were all stunned because of the situation that Christ has said that. Because they imagined a sewing needle, like I want you to imagine a sewing needle. So when Christ is saying it is easy to take a camel, because they rode around on camels, it's easy to take a camel through the eye of this needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom. They was like, dang, who then could be saved? So what else does that tell you? That Israel had what? That Israel had riches. You know, that there were a lot of rich Israelites. Okay? Like we got poor. Okay? So that's like, who then could be saved? They like, wait a minute, man. Everybody around here got a little something. We in for it. Verse 27, go ahead.
Verse 27. And he said, the things which are impossible with men are possible with God.
No, stop. Is it wrong to want to be comfortable for provide for his family? Of course not. But remember, the Lord said that he know what we need. So our priority should be making sure that, you know, our houses are taken care of. You know, that's the work right there. He gonna take care of the rest. Should you work? Of course, go ahead and work. But you should be focused on making sure that your house is in order, that you are in order, you keep the commandments, you understand the improvement that you need to be making, that you can see and you understand. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? If my wife is crooked, bootleg, and you know, she's going the hell off, then I'm gonna make sure that I sit down and I'm gonna say, listen, you acting bootleg and going to hell off. You need to stop it, be quiet. So that's the war that you need to be worried about. Instead of some damn, I'm gonna get me a 2018 Charger. Nigga, please. A Charger, you gonna just charge on off and lead a woman? It's not meant for you to do that. It's meant for you to teach the woman. So, you understand? We got to prioritize. It's okay. You got to go to work, because if you don't go to work, you can't pay rent. You don't go to work, you can't pay bills. You can't eat. But the Most High knows where our heart is. So he used things like this to set our heart aright. And he's the one that then will put you in a position, open up doors that you didn't ask for. You understand? Next thing, promotion come around. They asking you. Of course. You know, in this promotion, you get paid more money, you get a better job, better position. Trust, you know, they trust you, stuff like that. So the Most High is in control of that. Promotion don't come from the east nor the west, but from the Most High. Okay? So yeah, it's perfectly normal for somebody to want to be comfortable and provide, but you know, the focus is the house, getting that thing together, and letting the Most High build that up, build you know, our financial stability up. Okay, so now let me finish this though. So Luke 18 and verse 28.
Then Peter said, lo, we have left all and followed thee.
So now Peter is saying to Christ, he said, wait a second. I don't know about him. Wait a second. Because he like, they knew Christ. You understand? So not like us. We never seen him. Pay attention. We've never seen him. We've never seen him. They knew him. So they felt freely to be like, well, wait a minute now. You making this really hard. And we trust what you're saying. So who then could be saved, man? We gave up everything. This sounds like this gonna be hard for us too. Because, you know, just like Brother Judah, he said, well, you know, is there something wrong for me to be comfortable and to provide? You know, I ain't gonna make it because I'm trying to provide. He couldn't even talk. He's like, well, I ain't gonna make it. He's like, hold up. We left everything, man, and we following. We're trying. Okay? Read verse 29.
And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house, or parents, or brethren, or wife, or children, for the kingdom of God's sake.
Right, meaning because you learned the scriptures and you say, wait a minute, I got to leave this behind because they're not going to do it. House. What's inside of a house? TV, couch, furniture, appliances. You understand? A couple, children, bank account, the house itself. You might have to leave that. Because when you spend your time in the flesh, you might be in the flesh 10, 15, 20 years. Depends on what time the Most High wake you up in this truth. You might have been in this, you know, you will realize you chose that, not the Father. But he chose that and allowed you to live in that vanity for what? For your self-destruction or for a testimony? No, for a testimony. He give you the spirit to move on and chalk it up, take a loss. Oh man, I lost everything. It's the whole house. She doesn't agree. That's the wife part. She doesn't agree. She's not going to follow. She's still stubborn. She's this and this and this. As a matter of fact, she just, you know, she's gone. The Most High put the spirit, it's over. You're going to stay with the spirit. You're going to stay with the Father. You're going to stay following Christ. That's what that is. Or left parents. You come into this truth, your parents don't believe in this. Your parents breaking the Sabbath day. Parents jumping on you. I'm hearing stories, sisters, parents giving them a beat down. Pound. Boom. You don't want to hear about, you know, Yahweh Shai. What? Boom, boom. Jumping on you. What do? You stay or you go? Christ said leave, left. Leave them. They'll kill you, man. Some of you don't really realize parents will kill you. When you abort a child, what is that? It's murder. They broke the commandment, thou shalt not kill. So if they'll abort, what makes you think they won't put you to death? That'd be psychotic enough to put you to death, man. Lawless enough. If y'all don't agree in this doctrine, Lord said you'll have to leave. Escape with your life. Or brethren. Some of you get pecked on, you get stuck on brother. Oh, this is my pal, man. This is my dude, man. We've been in the truth. And he trying this, that, and the third. Listen, man, he's wicked. And according to scriptures, he ain't changing. So, you're going to have to forsake him or the Lord will put you out. Brethren. See, sir, where it says wife, same thing. Wives, you can put husband right there. I give you a case and scenario. So what is this? Give you a case and scenario. Husband and wife. They're in the truth. No, let me take that back. They're not in the truth. They're in the world. okay? They're in the world. They invest how many years? 15. First one out. 15 years. 15 years. 2 children. What's their ages? 7 and 8?
Yeah.
7 and 8. They got a house, bank account, joint account, mortgage, cars. 15 years. And she's a chosen vessel of the Lord. He's not. What do? Because if you were the man, the scriptures do say, wife, he will forsake you. So what does the woman do? Does she stay there? Okay, stay there, forsake. What do you say? She should stay. There is no man that have left house. Eventually she should, it'll dissolve. But how does it look? And I want y'all to pay attention to this, because one day you might run into this situation and you might have to advise this. How does it dissolve? I don't know you. Hold up, somebody else. How does it dissolve?
First, she would try and teach them.
First, she would try and teach them. That's correct. That's the priority number 1. She don't be like, oh, there's Hebrew guys, and this one here is broke. I want a Hebrew man. We don't get along. No, sister. First, what knowest thou whether, O wife, thou can save thy husband? He is your husband. Okay. That's first. What's second? She has to leave. How does she get out though? It's going to be dissolved. He has to leave her. Okay. Of course it is. So, but wait. So she would exhaust every avenue. Okay? Everybody understand that, right? So you would have to get into the details. Did you exhaust every avenue? I've exhausted every avenue, this, that, and the other. That means it takes time. So she would spend time there actually trying to rekindle, right? Trying to rekindle the situation, right? Still doesn't work. Spirit is not there. It's not meant, because it's going to dissolve. So she's going to stand her ground on these commandments. He's going to continue to break laws. Eventually, what's going to happen?
She has to be
He told you. I even seconded. I told you it was right. You said, is there a scripture? I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you say that?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know that how the scripture was worded.
First, did you find it, Elijah?
I think it's 7. First,
You changed the name?
First Timothy 7.
First Corinthians chapter 7.
No, 13, 13, and 14, and 15. With the 1 and 15.
Right. First Corinthians chapter 7, 14 and 15.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 13.
So now, to show you that there are no respected persons with the Most High, this includes both. Both. So brothers, these brothers expect these women to just stay prisoners. Sisters, brothers ain't gonna stay, if you being wicked and you eating pig feet and you celebrating and all this, that, and the third, and you doing whatever, they gonna just leave. They're going to leave, man. They're going to put you out. They're going to put you out, or they're going to leave. They're going to do whatever. So, you know, there are married sisters that are in these jacked up cases that has to let these things run its course. They have to dissolve a certain type of way. Why, though? Before we read this, why do they have to dissolve a certain type of way?
Because you don't know if it could have been better.
That's one. What's the other way? What's the number one reason? Is to justify the sister. She has to come out righteous in this situation. She has to display that she's exhausted every avenue. She stayed in the commandments, and then this is the result of it. And then it's going to be it's going to be nothing else left but, okay, it wasn't the will of the Most High. It wasn't that well, she just burned out because she wanted somebody, a Hebrew, somebody that was already taught. You know, like she went out of lust, and the guy was confused, and this, that, and the third. No, you let him make his decision. And then after he makes his decision, see, he never really repented. And that's coming up out of the world. You understand? That's coming up out of the world. So she was in the world, he was in the world. And you're gonna find out that, okay, once it dissolved, that actually was fornication and not a real marriage. Okay, so now 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and 13.
And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not,
Go ahead.
and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
So he'll stay for a while. Go ahead.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
That's what we're hoping for. As elders, we're hoping like this brother comes around. He's supposed to get cleansed and separated from that by your teaching and your example to him. Okay? Go ahead.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Right, vice versa. Go ahead.
Else were your children unclean.
So being unequally yoked, what is that telling you gonna happen to your children? They're gonna be wicked. Demons. They're gonna be unclean. That's why I be on brothers and sisters by saying, hey, keep it up. Keep your legs closed. Stay to yourself. Because you bring forth a baby with a demon, somebody with spirits, your children gonna be unclean, man. They're gonna get placed of spirits. What is it?
So if the woman and the man stay together, they make their child clean. But if they separate, they make their child unclean.
Why? Two opinions. The one parent that's in the commandments is going to be saying this. The other parent that's not in the commandments is going to be saying that. The child is going to be in the middle, trying to play both sides. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And remember, what type of person is this that's in the middle? A child. And what the scripture said about a child? Foolishness. So what he's going to cleave to? The foolish side. He's unclean. He's unclean. Okay, read. Verse 15. But now they are holy. If they stay together, they'll be holy. Okay? So that's the best case scenario. So you don't want Israel to be with somebody unholy. That's why you have to prove a friend. You must know this person. No internet love. No internet love. Oh, I met him over the internet. Spirits. You crazy? No internet love. Okay? I'm not saying it's impossible, but you can't have no long distance relationship, man, over the computer. What the hell? What is this? It takes time. Not a few weeks or a few months. It takes time to get to know somebody. You got to see somebody. You got to see them, You got to prove this person. Just like your automobile. You know if it handles good in the rain. If it handles good in the snow. If it handles good in the summertime, in the drought of heat. It's 100 plus. your car trying to die out. You don't trust it. In the snow, it's sliding, it's getting stuck. You're like, you knew that because you put that thing and you had to just drive in those under those harsh circumstances. But if it comes through no matter what, this Old Faithful, you're like, man, this is a beast right here. I don't have no problems. You proved it. You can't prove somebody over the phone long distance. Lust, man, you still in the world doing that. You're in the world. Okay, what you or somebody else say, WORLD. You're in the world. You have not changed. Still hooking up. You're gonna be labeled a fornicator. You're gonna have some unclean children, and y'all gonna fight. And then you're gonna be back. Well, can I do it again? I can't give you no license to sin. I can give you the perfect way the first time. That's why I tell you, stay to yourself. Brothers, those days are over. Just laying down with people. Okay? So now, let's finish, because this is the point. 7 and 15.
But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart.
Let who?
Let him depart.
Let him, not her. Let him depart. So if you got a wife and she was with this Jake and she did everything that she was supposed to do, remember, he's unbelieving. You can't be a believer, and unbelievers are in what? The world. I just said it. So she gets an opportunity to truly repent, and someday, if God willing, Most High, Yah willing, put it together, right? But she spent her time in sin. She did everything, and now the Most High is going to justify her. But she got to be restored. She had to be healed. She had to truly repent. She got to see. That's a shocker, man. She spent all of that time going the wrong direction, what she thought was sure. She brought children into this world. You understand? That ain't something that you just jump in and out of cars. Like you don't, like you do cars or change clothes. You don't just jump into somebody else's life because this guy's gone. I mean, you got to really digest what the Most High just shocked your life with. Let him depart. Let him. See, that's a man. Let him depart. So he'll leave. If it's not meant, he'll leave. And you don't need no help kicking him out. You don't need nobody else in your ear or in your inbox. You trying to coexist parallel with build a relationship on the side, this, that, and that. You don't need none of that. If it's not meant, the Most High gonna prove it. The Most High gonna show that, guess what, man, this thing ain't meant. You'll wake up one day, he gone. Or you'll be in and he won't come back. He'll get his stuff when you ain't there. So come back. I'm coming for the rest of it. This ain't working out. We don't do this and we don't do that. You just be like, I know it. Okay. Be strong about it. That's how that thing dissolved. You don't take another brother to come and we're going to dissolve it. I've heard it all, man. Sisters going through that. Yeah, he thinks I'm going to be a wife for him. All right, so enough of that. Do we finish Luke 12? Go back to Luke chapter 12. Oh, no. Luke 18. Luke 18. Yeah, Luke 18 and right. So Peter said, "We have left all and followed thee." Verse 29. We read that. Verse 29. Read it again. And he said unto them, "Verily I say unto you, there is no man that have left house, parents, brethren, or wife." That's where we got that from. Okay, so brothers will be in a position, they might be in a position to where they have a wife that, they'll have to leave. You know, I've seen this and brothers can't do it. I've seen the other way too. Sisters, they be in that position, they can't do it. I tell you, the same way that Christ would tell you. If you're in that situation, do it. Do it. Okay? It says, why? For the kingdom's sake. Okay? Verse 30.
Who shall not receive manifold, more in this present time, and in the world to come life everlasting?
Right. So now, what does verse 30 tell us? That in this life, who shall not. So you did all of that, you're going to receive manifold in this present time. So in this present time, the Most High, when He take you through all of that, the Most High then are going to begin to build your life and put your life. How do we know that the situation that you're living in is not the thing that's holding you back and hindering your blessings? You won't know unless you execute true judgment. Okay? Because you could be unequally yoked in this situation. But I brought us to this precept to show us that in this time, the scriptures is teaching us that you can definitely receive manifold in this time and in the world to come, life everlasting. It's that Mark chapter 10. Mark chapter 10, and now Mark tells it. Mark 10 and 29.
Mark chapter 10 and verse 29. And Christ answered and said, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my sake and the gospel's, but he shall receive in 100-fold now at this time.
Right, he shall receive 100-fold. Now, listen to what he said you're going to receive for keeping the commandments. Read. Houses. You understand? Houses. Some of you could get into what? Real estate. The Most High and Yahweh shall give you houses. Okay? Wealth building. Where does it come from? To keep. And 100-fold. Go ahead.
And brethren.
And brethren.
And sisters.
Stop. So 1-fold is what? No. 1-fold is 20. Yeah, right?
Yep.
What one? If I'm not mistaken, if 1-fold is 20, and Christ said 100-fold, right? He did the math, so that's like 2,000. So you can't tell me that's not wealth right there. Okay? He shall receive 100-fold in this time. Houses, brethren. So that replaces what? Your friends. Because the old friends were what? They were evil. They were evil. Communication. Okay? And sisters. So this is family. Okay? So you sisters, you have to by keeping the commandments, now you gotta start learning. Like when you read Titus, it tells you that the older sisters are responsible for teaching you how to love your husbands, how to be chaste, how to be keepers at home, how to be this, how to be that. You know, if you're single, how to, mothers, children, lands. Now here's that thing that we're familiar with. You see that? It says with our persecutions. That means with the situations that we have to live with in this world. Everybody see and understand it? Right, so the persecutions, they're not going to go nowhere. But the Lord said we can still be blessed with these persecutions. Okay? Any questions? Before we close it out, any questions? Go ahead. Al.
Let's say you see a woman that was an Israelite, and her husband and her daughters or her family members that was with her was
Mhm.
in the store or something. They didn't have on the same pearl. Could you use it as an opportunity to be, able to show them through the Spirit though, some scriptures concerning that matter?
Concerning what was that?
Concerning like that 1 Corinthians 7, after showing them, why don't everybody get on their pearl?
So you walk up to some completely strange people and show them precepts about separation?
Like gotta be subtle with
No,
it.
that's yet subtle.
Like,
Negative. Stop it. I'm gonna stop you from hurting yourself.
okay,
Negative.
then,
Right. Negative.
I have a question.
Yeah, you wouldn't walk up to some complete strangers and then just expect that they marriage is finna be dissolved and destroyed. Do you understand?
yeah.
Because I give you an example. Me and Carlis were together in the world before we were in the truth. And so, what if somebody would have came up to me and said something like that? And now we over 25 years. Cross that in the truth. 25 plus in the truth. So that's why I said negative. You can't just walk up to somebody and just assume that they're going to be dissolved.
No, not the dissolve, but like showing both sides and brief, like iron sharpen iron, and refresh them to the order of the scriptures. Instead of just
Let us deal with the teaching part and just keep learning, and you'll learn how to deal with that. That's why the scriptures say, let's get Ecclesiastes chapter. Yeah. Ecclesiastes 8 and 9.
Ecclesiasticus 8 and verse 9. Miss not the discourse of the elders.
Right, we're sitting here, I'm explaining the case and scenario. This is the case and situation. The case was the woman learned truth, the guy did not take heed. She exhausted every avenue, he eventually leaving. There wasn't somebody that just, you walk up to some people and then you're trying to split them up. So, or because then you said, well, kind of subtle, that means that you got to subliminally, insinuate that, maybe y'all ain't gonna make it, or y'all might not make it. The Lord said He hate putting apart. So if these people are because you put children in the mix and everything, so that's an establishment right there. So then you preach repentance unto them, and pray for a situation like that to make it, not prophesy their downfall. So just listen to this. That says you got to pay attention to what the elders say. Miss not the discourse of the elders. Go ahead.
For they also learn of their fathers.
Right. I didn't just get taught from myself or on YouTube or Facebook or from a bubblegum rapper. I got taught from you know, actually brothers that were seasoned in the truth. Okay, that some was married, some was single. You know, so the things that you see me hammering down, those were the things that were forged into me. You know, go ahead.
And of them thou shalt learn understanding, and to give answer as needed required.
Right, then you'll be able to learn how to answer, you know, and give these, you know, things out to a situation when you see it. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, somebody else had a question?
So, with the lady who had the husband who wasn't supposed to choose it, when he leaves, do she get to remarry, or does she have to wait to be either pass or commit the act of fornication?
That's a good question. So his question was, do she get to marry, or does she have to wait till he commits the act of fornication? What is the answer to that?
Yes.
So without guessing, I want precepts. Okay.
2 Corinthians chapter 5.
Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 5.
Yeah, 5 and 17. Because the main point in the situation was both parties, the husband, well, the man and the woman both came out of the world. The woman repented, the man chose to stay in the world. So we established that means that relationship that they had was fornication. That whole time they was together was in fornication. So now for the woman, this is what applies to her. 2 Corinthians 5 and 17. Read that chapter.
Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
Right, or a woman. So the sister is a new creature. She's born again, right? Her life starts over in Christ, right? Keep reading.
Old things are passed away.
Old things are passed away. What old things? Her whole life that she had in the world. You know what I'm saying? And also the man that didn't choose to what? Serve the Lord. The scriptures say he's passed away too. Because he stayed in the world. And now she's alive in Christ. You read.
Behold, all things are become new.
All things will become new. So now she's growing up in the spirit of the Most High in the house. And everything about her is becoming new. She don't wear dresses anymore. She wears hair covering. She wears furniture water. She learned from the elders, the elder women. You know what I'm saying? She's growing and she's building up her mind and her spirit in the Lord.
Let me say this. That's true, but that's secondary.
That comes second.
That comes second. It comes second to what? And what does it come second to? What does it come second to?
Our repentance.
It's her.
Separation.
It comes second to her realizing the life that she had lived was a life according to sin. You understand? The first thing, like Romans 7. This is the first thing that she would have to realize, that I spent my whole life, not my whole life, but I spent a portion of my life in sin. That was the wrong guy. And a lot of brothers and sisters that have children that been in these relationships, we had to come to terms with that. That I was with the wrong person. Whether I was with the wrong person for a year, what's the difference? You was with the wrong person for a year and had a baby, or you was with the wrong person for 15 years and had two? You was with the wrong person. That's the first thing that you gotta realize, that was wrong. That I was in sin. And if I was in sin and it was wrong, there's no way it could be marriage. Although, it would be acknowledged and recognized, that was, you was married to that person. Yeah, but what does the Most High say? He dissolved it. Okay? And what God put together, let not marriage tear asunder. So that's the true marriage. Romans chapter 7 and 7 start where it says, nay.
Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law.
That's the first thing right there. All the other stuff about changing and putting on clothes and diet and all of that, you got to realize the life that he pulled you up out of, you got to really realize that was sin. Because once you realize it, you should most likely not return back unto it. You understand? That's why, you know what I'm saying? Everything was right. It was just something before that. You got to realize that, hey, that was devastating. I straight just wasted 10 years, man. I straight just wasted 12 years. I straight wasted 8 years. I was in sin. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling it this, but foolish me, man. That was a waste, a loss. I had not known sin. Go ahead.
For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
Right. Don't lean to my own understanding. Don't go after this thing, man. Okay. So, was you finished? I know I interrupted you. You was pointed on thick. It was right, but
No,
all right.
yeah, that was it. So basically,
Yeah, so the new creature, that's his answer.
right. The new creature can be married in the Lord in due time when the Lord says something.
All right. So the Most High would have to put it together. And the thing is, a lot of people, they go back out looking again. They go back out looking again because it's like the flesh. The flesh is calling and craving. You're like, you got to shut it down. You got to tell them no. No, don't be a whoremonger. Don't be a fornicator. Use the scriptures. No. You got to say that. Okay. And remember, Acts 17 and 30 wanted to go there. At the times of this ignorance, God winked at. So Israel, when you could be ignorant, we can't put a time limit on somebody's ignorance. Our job is to bring in truth and what? Bring in the truth. Yeah, bring in grace and bring in the truth. Okay? That's our job. Bring in grace and bring in the truth. So the time period that it took them to see that thing was wrong, because a lot of times, man, they'll be spending a gang of years and times in these relationships knowing that these things something is wrong with it. You're always fighting, you're always arguing. There's no rhythm, no harmony, no real love. The guy's cheating on you. Spending the night out, lying, bringing you an affection, all different type of wickedness. He's doing drugs. You know all of this stuff, right? People wanting to fight you, or vice versa. Those are all these little signs that is this really a profitable relationship? Okay, so we're going to close with a few precepts concerning the building of the wealth. And if y'all have something to add, then you can definitely. First one is Deuteronomy chapter 28. And Israel, I know that, you might feel that you're doing and you're keeping these commandments. Remember the rich guy. He was already rich. And he had asked Christ, what did he lack? But Christ told him, if thou will be perfect, go and sell that which thou hast. So we can always come on a high level of doing something, doing something different. So don't get stuck and complacent and high-minded into thinking that you cannot improve and you're trying to get blessings from the Most High. So Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1, it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High, that the Lord thy God will set thee high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in what? The field. This community that you live in and your job. That's the field right there. So where does true financial wealth come from? It comes from the Most High and the keeping the commandments. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. What is that? Your children. And the fruit of the ground. Remember, so Israel, we were tillers of the ground. That's what that's going into. Okay? And the cattle, the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy king, or kind, the flocks of thy sheep. So, Israel, whatever you put your hand into, you have to supplement it into today. You invest, the Most High gonna bless you. Blessed shall be what? Thy basket and thy store. What is thy basket? You go to the store, you got a basket. What is your store? Your storehouse. I got food, right? These blessings come from the observation of the commandments. Okay, blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, blessed shall thou be when thou goest out. Okay? So these blessings, jump down to, I'll keep reading. The Most High shall cause thy enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. So people come up against you. That's these nations. They come up against you. They won't be able to mess with you. One shall come out against thee one way and shall flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command a blessing upon thee in thy storehouses. The precept says barns, so that's letting you know that you would then have what? You'd have reserves. Okay? And in all that thou settest thy hand into, and he shall bless thee. He shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. So Israel, the Most High said, you will have blessings in your storehouses. The Lord shall establish thee a holy people unto himself. So that means the Most High will acknowledge you and have respect unto you as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, and in the fruit of the body, and in the fruit of the cattle. So he's reiterating, and the ground and the land. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in due season, to bless all the work of thy hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Maybe you'll have money, you ain't lending to no nations. This is a global thing, huge, but you'd have to give to others when need, okay? The Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only. That means you're not going to be like starving Marvin. You're not going to be hurting. Israel, we feel the pain because of what? Because of transgression. And thou shalt not be beneath. Sometimes we feel like, man, I'm late on this. A day late, $1 short. You understand? I'm without. Why? Breaking the laws. Okay? If thou will hearken unto the commandments. So what do we have to do in order to get this stability? We got to listen unto the commandments. which I command thee this day, and shall observe to do them, and thou shalt not go aside. Listen to the instructions. You cannot go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. In no shape, form, or fashion. You can't even go into, well, I agree that there's other religions, and I'm not knocking them. No. Israel, we can't follow no ideology. We can't follow no religion. We got to follow the Most High as Israelites. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord to do all his commandments which I command you this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And this is where the lack of success come in at. Okay, let's see. We're gonna have to share it. Did anybody else have anything? You had something? Okay. The book of Tobit and the Apocrypha. Tobit chapter 4. In verse 5.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 5. My son, be mindful of the Lord our God all thy days, and let not thy will be set to sin, or to transgress his commandments.
Right, what is thy will? Meaning your mind. Go ahead. Do upright.
Do uprightly all thy life long.
Right, do uprightly all your life. Not just sometimes. Go ahead.
And follow not the ways of unrighteousness.
Right, don't follow sin. Don't have a pattern of what dead works. Go ahead.
For if thou deal truly, thy doing shall prosperly succeed.
Right, if thou deal truly, thy doing shall prosperly succeed to thee. So if you deal right, your dealings is gonna lead out. It's gonna pan out to you. Go ahead.
And to all them that live justly.
Right, and to all of them that do what?
Live justly.
That live justly. Okay, let's see. Don't want to make a part two of this. Okay, Malachi. Okay. So Malachi chapter 3 and verse 10.
Malachi 3 and verse 10. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house, and prove me now herewith, said the Lord of hosts.
Right, so that was just a law that Israel had when we had the law of the tithes. So don't worry about the tithes. Okay, we give free will offerings, but this is not about offerings. This is about just applying the commandments. So here's the next part though. Read.
If I will not open you the windows of heaven.
Right. If I would not open you the windows of heaven. So keeping the law, when you send up prayers to the Most High, that means having the windows of heaven opened up, meaning the thing that you pray for will come to pass. You will be like, wow, this is straight from the Most High. You understand? You will feel the windows of heaven opened up. You'll be like, this is amazing. That will help build your faith. But if you're breaking the laws and the Most High is cursing you and you're not having success, your faith is going to bottom out. You're going to be at an all-time low. You're going to be going along just to get along, man. You're going to be like, man, I'm not really sure for real. You're going to be questionable. But keeping the law, the Father said he will open up the windows of heaven and straight pour upon you. So that you will be praying and you'll be like, I need help with this. I need help with that. Think about me and this, that, and the third. Help me out. And all of a sudden, the things that you ask for will be coming to pass. You will be like, oh my goodness. It's times where I've been so happy that the windows of heaven has been opened. I'd be wanting to call and be like, hey, the Most High is hearing prayers, y'all. Go ahead and hurry up and ask for something. You know what I'm saying? Hurry up and ask for something. The Most High is hearing prayers. Because... But I guess at the time he just heard my prayer for me and know what I needed and wanted, and it happened. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, I'm happy. So do that, and there shall what? And there
shall not be room enough to receive.
Go ahead.
And I will rebuke the devourer for your sake.
Right. What is the devourer? Something that will come in and cause a loss. We hate losses. I would do it because of you. This is what the Father said. Go ahead.
And he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground. Neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, said the Lord of hosts.
All right. So we'll have fruits and our vines in the field. It's our job. Some of you're not even put on the schedule. You're like, wait a minute. What happened with this? Did you leave me off on this schedule? The devourer, he took it. He grudged against you. He got mad at you. Didn't even put you on the schedule. Right? You don't like that. Or he cut your hours and stuff like that. Now you sitting at home with nothing to do and you wondering like, I got to pay this bill. My check is short. You go in for 4 hours and come back out, and they put you on the schedule one day before your off day. You off. You're like, man, these people are playing with me. The devourer. See, you gotta bring this up into today. Here it says, shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field. You're not there now. Where you at? Man, you in the office, you in this, you in that. So the devourer know how to affect that. How do you keep that from being devoured? Keeping the commandments. You break the commandments, you lose your job. You lose hours, you lose this, you lose that. You keep the commandments, the windows of heaven open up, pour upon you. You be sending up prayers, your prayers are being answered. You're like, wow, I remember this. I asked for this. Things be working out. Okay? Go ahead. What you had out? The brother has something, then you can start the communion now.
Please ask us 18.
Oh, now I know what that other topic I wanted to go into. Let me write it down before I forget. Most High will get to it another time. Okay?
Ecclesiastes 18 and verse 25. So this go along with, like the brother was saying, saving and things like that. This go along with the Most High opening up those windows of heaven. Now we got to remember this part too. When the Most High do give us those blessings. So it's Ecclesiastes 18 and 25.
When thou hast enough, remember the time of hunger.
Right. So when the Most High do step in and bless us, and then start to give us things, it says, when thou hast enough, when the Most High do bless you, remember the time of hunger. Go ahead.
And when thou art rich, think upon poverty.
So then you gotta be wise and spend and use the things that the Most High give us wisely. Otherwise, we'll just turn right back around. And Lord, I need another blessing. You know, like the example of the unjust steward. When it was time for him to give an account of his stewardship, the Most High is like showed us that you wasting your goods. The Most High provided, and we just spend without any kind of recollection of, you know what, let me make sure that I put some away for the time of hunger. The time when things are not as good, because it's always like that. The Most High blesses, and then he's trying to show us how to sustain that and not just be reckless with it. So it says, when thou art rich, think upon poverty and need. So that was it. That was just to add to the saving portion and stuff like that.
All right. So anybody else? So, Israel, like we were saying earlier, you got to learn how to be conservative. Okay, so we had plenty of scriptures. You got to learn how to be conservative. You got to learn how to make sacrifices for some of the things that you want. You got to learn how to save. You got to put some aside. We'll get an example concerning that. You can get that for me concerning Tobit. You got to learn how to put some aside. You got to deny some of the things that you might want. What are some of the things that we can go without?
Shoes.
Okay. Shoes. Let's take Tobit 4. Some of the things we can go without. You can go without, because you're trying to save, right?
Key.
Sweets, food, some foods,
Okay.
Like, I'll give you an example. I don't buy fast foods out at all. Out of a month, I might buy maybe a French fry or something. Because I eat vegan, so sometimes I get caught out and it's just unbearable. I can't make it back. So out of 1 month, I might end up buying a fry or something. But that's probably like once every 3 months, maybe. I drink water, plenty. I bring things from home. So Israel, y'all could do that to save money. Y'all can take stuff, make something from home. I had no lunch. I've been drinking my lunch. That was a smoothie. So after work, I had to rush home, shower, and come right back out. I literally left the whole house to try and make it down here, and I still made it here about 6:30. Then I had to tell everybody, let's go. So I had a pear and, some. Eat from home. Trying to save. It's yours. It's yours. You'll be able to get some of the things, that you want. Save for what you want. You want a new car. There's nothing wrong with wanting better things. There's nothing wrong with wanting better things. So you have to save for that car. house. Yeah, it's healthy to eat it from home. That's right. You gotta save for that house. You want a house? You gotta save. This is money that I never ever touch for no reason. No reason. Every man should have money. No broke brothers. You brothers are broke, I'm gonna get on you. No broke brothers. You know, if you're working, you should be saving. You should, you know, you should give alms. You should be saving, and you got the cost of living. Cost of living. You know, you can always be tight on your cost of living and push some over into your savings because, you know, you're trying to make moves for yourself in the future. So we're going to get Tobit, the 4th chapter. What's up, Nagayana? Tobit chapter 4. In verse 1.
This,
Tobit 4:1. And that day Tobit remembered the money which he had committed to Gabriel and rages of Media, and said with himself, I have wished for death.
Right, stop. So Tobit, he remembered money that he committed to Gabriel, meaning he had saved money, and he had a brother to hold it for him. So he wasn't broke, man. Plenty of Israelites, they had money and they saved it. Go to the 1st chapter in verse 14.
Tobit 1:14. And I went into Media and left in trust with
Gabriel,
the brother of Gabrius, at Rages, a city of Media, 10 talents of silver.
right, 10 talents of silver. Now, if I'm not mistaken, 1 talent was like 100 pounds. So he had 10 talents of what? Of silver. So that was, and he gave that to his son Tobias. So when Tobias went to be married, they came out with bags. They came out with bags. So brothers, days of being broke are over. Work and save. Stop buying all these cell phones. Stop buying all these gadgets. Stop buying all these little things. Every time you get some money, you got to buy something. Stop doing that. Same thing with sisters. Learn to save, man. Learn to save. Okay? Let's get Proverbs 31. Okay, Proverbs chapter 31. Let's see. In verse 10.
Proverbs 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ship. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion of her maidens. She considereth a field, and buy it.
All right, where do you think she get that from? Because she was a sister that was working. She considered a field, and she bought it. So that's why I said, sisters, wake up, man. Y'all could do this. You see something, set your sight on something, because you've been working. You've been saving, and you know, this woman bought a field. You could buy a shop. Okay, you can buy a shop. You need to know how to buy though. You need to know how to buy, where to buy, how to invest. So you would ask questions. The Most High would lead you into a situation or to put you with people that's going to show you and teach you how to do it correctly so that you don't waste your money. Okay? So she considered a field and bought it. Go ahead.
With the fruit of her hands, she planted a vineyard.
All right, so this sister, she got out there and planted that vineyard with her own hands. Go ahead.
She girded her loins with strength.
Right, so that's bodily strength. Okay, go ahead.
And strengthened her arms.
Go ahead.
She perceived that her merchandise is good.
So she put her mind to the task. Okay, go ahead.
Her candle goeth not out by night.
Right, so that is, you know, the sisters. Okay, so to make these things happen, you know, we got to save. One more. Romans 13. Okay, Romans chapter 13 and I'll read it, verse 5. It says, wherefore you needs must be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. So it's going into obeying the powers that be. Every brother and sister has to obey the powers that be. Some of you don't obey the powers that be, and you end up into hardship. You end up with no money and I did that the wrong way, didn't I? Yeah. That says 340 and 320. And that's true. You get these little credit cards and you don't pay. You get out there and get this little piece of car break down, you don't pay. Whatever you do, you don't pay. Take out the student loan, you don't pay. For this cause, pay tribute also. For they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Okay? You got taxation to pay the taxation. You know, keep it moving. Render therefore to all their dues. The Most High will bless you if he see that you rendering unto these things. Tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, it's this is talking about financially. If it's customarily that you have to pay this, instead of swaggle about it, just go ahead, and pay. Is there something wrong with trying to get a deal? There's nothing wrong with trying to get a deal. But you got to pay. You got to pay insurance, you got to pay insurance. Automobile, you got to pay it. You got to pay to drive for a license, you got to pay a drive for a license. You got to pay personal property taxes, you got to pay personal property taxes. Whatever custom that this man has got out here, you got to do it. Fear to whom fear. What type of fear are we supposed to have concerning these heathens? I know we want to say no fear, but guess what? If you disobey the heathen and then you don't get the proper permits or licenses, then if you don't have that fear and you just operating and moving without that fear, what's going to happen? You're going to get ticketed. So if you have that fear and you're going to say, I don't want to get ticketed, then I'm going to go and then I'm going to submit myself. And I'm going to apply myself properly. And that'll save you from a financial woe. It says, honor to whom honor. Verse 8, and this is it. It says, owe no man what? Anything. So the debts that you're in, you need to be trying to clear those debts up. You clear those debts up so that you can have a good name. So those of you that, if you owe, and you're trying to learn, well, what do I do? How do I pay? How do I get out of this? Just ask for help. Every circumstance or situation is different, but you can just, ask for help. I didn't get to where I am by being silly. I had fear the Most High first and foremost, application of the commandments, and it takes hard work to try and achieve an accomplishment like that. So, brothers and sisters, y'all have questions about it, I'll definitely I'll answer the questions to the best of my ability that I can. And if you too bad of a shape, then we can advise you. I can advise you based upon that too. What do I do if I got taken advantage of? I'm $15,000 in debt, $20,000 in debt. You thousands of dollars of debt, and you ain't gonna be able to ever pay that money back, no time soon. Well, what do I do? What's gonna come faster? You paying $13,000 or 7 years? 7 years will probably come faster because we're in oppression. We right at minimum wage or above minimum wage. There's no way that you can pay that money back. So you might as well take that hit. What hit is that? It's y'all took it away by saying it. I gave you a listening here. Bankruptcy. Yeah, bankruptcy. You can file bankruptcy, and that'll wipe it out. It'll cost you, and you'll be at zero. Now the good and bad thing about that is you're at zero, and this is your name at this point, especially the creditors. Mud. But it's some people that wants to deal with you. Why? That's right. Because of that zero, because you don't owe anybody anything. and they're hard up lenders. They take chances and say, oh, I'm going to give you a chance. And then next thing you know, they give you a chance. Nah, we'll keep it about a minute.
Now put it.
That's too much. 20, they ain't gonna give you that. 2,000. You know, 2,000. They might give you a credit card. I'll give you a car. Get a car. You know, $12,000, $15,000 car. Yeah, they knee deep in debt. They might give you, you know, because you don't know anybody anything. You got it all cleared. They figure that you might have learned some type of lesson. They'll look at a pattern, a work history. Oh, you working? You still would have to prove certain things, right? You've been working, you've been holding this job down. They say, oh, okay. So if you don't own anybody or something, we can probably get this out. So they'll remember that it's all about chance. Esau can take that type of chance. We can't. So we don't take chances on one another, because when you burn me, man, you just destroyed, took my living, man. I can't even survive now. With Esau, remember, man, they wealthy. So they'll take a chance on you. They take chances on people all the time like that. So you would have to weigh it in a balance. Do I try and pay them this $15,000, you know, or do I just erase it? Say, for instance, it costs you $1,500. What do you do? Yeah, you pay the $1,500. You got to get a lawyer. He's going to file the bankruptcy. He's going to kill everything. You're going to, you know, say how sorry you are, that you got it, it got away from you. You know, this, that, and the other. And then the judge or court give it to you. You can do that. And then spend the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years doing the right thing. Paying. How many times can you be late when you're paying?
I remember. 2.
Watch me.
Yeah.
You see what that means to me? Never. I've never been late. Well, yes, I have. Over maybe the last 10, 15 years. Probably twice. But it wasn't reported. It wasn't reported. So you could be, so you'll be late, and to the point to where it's like of 30 days, they're reported. Because like if you miss a due date, then they don't report it. It have to go like 30 days. So if your due date is like on the 10th, and then you slip it, and then you end up paying it like on the 15th, 16th, you're like, damn, I'm late. You know, they're gonna report me. So you pay it. No, they ain't gonna report you. So I've never been reported late. That means a lot. Never, ever, 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 never, ever. That's how you get good credit. So if you got $2,000 or $3,000 and you need to pay off, you don't file bankruptcy on that. You pay. You make payment arrangements. You call and promote yourself. Talk to these people. Say, hey, I want to pay you off. I want to get back good with you. You know, don't be afraid to promote yourself or talk to them. So I want to set up some payment arrangements. Say, for instance, and you brothers and sisters that thought you sitting up there and you letting $1,200 stand between you, petty, you're gonna forever have bad credit. You letting $1,200 and $1,500 stand between you because that's gonna break you. Come on, man. That's petty. That's petty. You don't do that. You pay them that money. You sit up there and have that money, you know, income tax come around, you still don't pay. You know, listen up. You be the same one with that old 340 credit. Hey. Pay that money. Once you pay that money, you still gonna have some derogatory, it's called derogatory. You still gonna have some derogatory comments, but you don't owe nobody. They'll look at it. Somebody out there fishing, they looking for people like me and you. They want to take advantage of us. So they'll come and they'll say, they might send you certain offers. Do anybody here, y'all get credit card offers in the mail? Y'all do? Okay, credit card offers in the mail. Okay. So, do you take them? No? Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. We'll be done in 5 minutes. Okay. Credit card offers in the mail. You don't take them. The ones that you do not take, are the ones that are asking you to pay to have their card. Okay, if they're asking you to pay to have their card, we're normally out before this. I just didn't want to continue this. Not that I want to have the conversation. I gave all the precepts, but you know, no meat based in the world. Like, how do I deal with these situations? So, let me speed it up so we can get out. Take the credit card offers. If they offer some type of percentage, if it's no annual, take that. Don't pay to have the card. Oh, this is $29, $30, $50 annual, yearly. Pass it up. Do you understand the difference of what I'm saying? The reason is you have to have open accounts in order to establish credit. You have to have open accounts and revolving accounts. Oh, no. Open accounts is revolving. You have to have installment loans in order to build credit. What's an installment loan? A mortgage, a car note, that's an installment loan. Do y'all understand that? Yeah. Without that, you're not building credit. So now, if you have 4, 5, 6 credit cards, that doesn't hurt you. It's what you do with those credit cards that hurt you. If you max them all out, you are irresponsible. Do you understand? The best place to look for someone to give you a credit card, who knows? Walmart? Lowe's? No. Your bank. Your bank. The bank that's holding your money, you tell them, give me a credit card. You understand? You fill out a credit card for your bank. They holding your money, they gonna give you a card. Okay? So now, you take that card and you buy certain things. If you know your limits, if your limit might be, let's make it lower, $500,000. Don't max it out. You know, you can go buy something, always keep tabs. You can go buy something and trust them. Put it on automatic payment. Let them take it. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Put it on automatic payment. Let them take it. If you spend $120, automatic payment, you ain't gonna never miss what?
A payment.
There you go. They like good payment. You ain't gonna never miss a payment. It's a game that you have to play. You keep watch of it. It's a game that you have to play. So now they're gonna make some money called a finance charge every month. It might be $2. Give them that. Give them that. Because you need. What do you need to help build your credit? Say installment payments.
Installment payments.
That's right. Isn't that an installment? Yeah. It's an installment. You understand? Then after a few years, you can talk to that same bank and say, hey, I want an increase. I want to start spending some money. They're going to look at it. They're going to look at how you've been paying and how you've been using it. They see how you've been using it. They're going to say, okay, they might increase you $1,500. They might increase you $2,000. That's $1,000. That's good. You see what I'm saying? Over 2 years, that's good. That's okay. You use it a little bit, do the same thing. Credit is power. You got credit, now you got cash. You can do whatever you want to do. Something happens to your car. You need a starter. The shop wants $300 and something. You're like, damn, I ain't got the cash for that. Put it on my credit card. Put it on the credit card. They ain't gonna never be late because they on what? Automatic payments. They ain't gonna charge you but $15, man. And I'm teaching you to do what? Save. So you're saving money. It ain't gonna hurt you to pay that card back for 5 or 6 months at $15 and letting them get $2 or $3 in interest. Because you need what? Installment payments. So do you see the game that you have to play to get that credit, right? So go to your bank. Everybody, go to your bank.
Go to your bank.
And apply for a credit card. But if you got money into that bank, even if you don't, okay. So that's it. We'll talk a little bit more later. Anybody got questions? You can ask. We got to get out of here, y'all. Right. Any questions? All right. Matthew 10. Matthew 26. This is what we close with. Matthew 26 and 6. And my apologies, Israel. I ran the class over. I'm really trying to help. That's all it is. That's all it is. Matthew chapter 26 and 6. Did y'all notice stuff that I said? If you did, raise your hand. You knew it, okay. You knew it. A little bit. It says, now when Christ was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment. Now if you notice, how many of you doing it? Okay, so then y'all's y'all own worst enemy. You gotta do it. Okay? But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahushua, when the word called Jesus, understood it, he said unto them, why trouble you the woman? For she hath wrought the good work upon me. For you have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For in that shall pour this ointment on my body. She did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman have done be told for a memorial of her. So all praises to the Most High for giving this sister the spirit to come forth, keep the commandments, and set a beautiful example of what a broken and contrite heart is. The communion, 1 Corinthians 11 and 23. For I received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, whom the word calls Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. When they had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. So it's saying, Israel, we have to have a sincere spirit. But let a man examine himself, so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. So the Lord brings judgment for us not being sincere. Okay? For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world. Okay? So, most high in the name of Christ, thank you for the food, drink, amen. This is his body which is broken for you. Just his blood.
Conference recording
Okay, Israel, we're going to stand and face Jerusalem. Stay around for the prayers. Okay, Israel, if every man was just like me, what kind of sanctuary would this be? Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. And in Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Laborers prayer, Luke 10 and 2. Therefore say unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray therefore the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Bless you, most high King of heaven and earth, and all things, most high, name to Christ. Send more disciples and teachers to your harvest, to gather your people Israel, and send counsel behind your laws, to stand before thy people Israel. Give to us strength to break down our lives with thy word. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
The blessing of Israel, Numbers chapter 6 and 24. Children of Israel, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And in Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Children of Israel, bless one another.
The Most High name of Christ bless you all. She already made it.
Oh, wait a minute.
Why everybody keep saying that, bro?
Hey, Bonnie, that tile already sold.
About 63 now.
Right.
Like right there.
All right, so you girls inside. All right, thank you. Hey.
You gonna give me some fish that first?
What is it? So could we possibly not be getting blessed because we purposely don't pay bills that we have? It's hot. Anything's possible. You know, you're supposed to be paying your bills. Make payment arrangements with your people that you owe this money to. All right, Israel. God bless. I'm going to let y'all go. What's up, Brother Warner? Shalom. What's up, Felipe? Most High Yahweh Shah bless, brother. What's up, Judah? All right, Talia. Like them credit cards because of my situation. Well, yeah. Send them $1. You know, make some arrangements.
What y'all eat for dinner?
All praises, Miss Mary. How you doing, sister? Francisco, what's up, brother? Shalom.
Oh, she said.
So listen, I'm
That's 7. I mean, that's peaceful.
Say hi. This little girl is something else.
You do? I can't eat chicken. No, wait a minute.
What's up? I think it's a tisket. Something called tisket. What's up, Rocky? Shalom, Mom.
No, what have to be the second thing? You don't have a favorite?
Is it sweet? No, it's seasoned. It's seasoned. It tastes kind of like some garlic pepper seasoning or something on it. What's up? You broke it? Oh, he broke. What? No. Let me see it.
No, he didn't. No, like that was an accident. So he just like kind of just threw me under the bus. I'm throwing you under the bus. So it's free, so
You need us somebody to throw you under the bus or something.
Oh, no, man. He said, I'm going to retaliate. What's up, bro,
I
Jay?
got insurance. It burnt up. Like it just joint jumped out. I jumped.
The last time he jumped, remember you said you was running and it was jump? It's always jumping. You got jumping beans in your phones, brother. This brother got a phone.
Your phone, your bag.
What, y'all ready? What's up, brother? Hey, man, come on home, brother.
James, just get a screw attack. That's like $3.
Trill, what's up, man? How you
Hey,
doing?
so you wanna run me around? I ain't up there, man. You wanna run me around? Real quick, like.
No.
I'm ready.
All right, I gotta go, y'all. They gonna run up out of this place. Father bless, all right? Most High Christ bless. Peace.
Well, you had a ride here already.